Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel, All Things Life. Man, if you're listening to this, all I gotta say right now is you're an OG. What does that stand for here? Okay, OG stands for original. This is gonna be the first video I upload onto YouTube, and it's gonna be never taken down. Okay, so this is gonna be the first video ever. And if you're listening to this, you're an OG. And for that reason, it's gonna be a long one. Okay, so put down your phone or whatever. I don't care if you're on social media, put me on in the background. I don't take it personally. People have told me they like my voice, so hopefully you do as well. With that being said, grab some water, grab some coffee, whatever it is, put me on in the background, listen to it, whatever it takes, okay? I'm just going to explain here how the YouTube channel started. And obviously the title of the channel or the name of the channel kind of gives it away, right? It's all things life. That's going to be your mind, your physical body, and your spirit. In my opinion, I think those three things create a human being. So I'm just going to talk about how the YouTube channel started, what it's like to live in today's world, the positive things and the negative things about it, how it affects you physically, mentally, and your spirit, the overall message of the channel. Now, here's one thing, right? I need to put this in here. I talk really fast because I'm from the East Coast, so I apologize. But I'm going to talk about the overall message of the channel, right? And one of my core beliefs is being transparent, honest, and real with everything you do in life. And so I'm just going to say it here and now. If you do not find any value out of these videos, don't watch them because it will be a waste of time. I promise you that. Now, if you like the music and you just like my voice, that's cool too. So with that being said, I'm just going to talk about the overall message of the channel and then exactly what your expectation should be every time you click on one of my videos, right? I've been told that life is about expectations, and I just want to tell you guys what exactly this channel is going to be about. So if you find value in it, you can subscribe, like, and comment or dislike, whatever it takes, right? I appreciate everything that you guys do or gals do. With that being said, let's just dive straight in. How did the YouTube channel start? This is a really funny story. I will say it's extremely random. I guess this is how the internet changes people's lives, right? With that being said, though, so I was just going on about my day, right? I had to get gas. I stopped at a gas station. Right. And as I'm walking in, I see a homeless lady. Now, I don't know how everyone's experiences with homeless people goes, but for me, my general experience with homeless people is they're just asking for money. Right. And most of the time, they don't even use that money to help themselves or support themselves. It's for something. It's for a substance or alcohol or something like that. So they don't even use it to better themselves. It's just to keep them in their spot and make it feel better for a quick second. Whoa, that's an opinion there, and it's a deep one. So we'll get into that as well. I do hold very, very strong opinions here. So if I offend you, I do apologize. Psych, I really don't. At the end of the day, I did say this channel is about, life. And you should never give up anything about yourself ever, your beliefs, your actions. It's okay to do the wrong things, but you just got to own up to it and get better, right? Which we'll get into. But let's just get into how the YouTube channel started. So I got to the gas station. I'm walking out of my car and I'm walking into the gas station, right? And I see a lady. She's homeless. It's very obvious. She has her cart there, and she just has a whole lot of things in there. And so the first thing that happens is we make eye contact. And in my mind, right, I already knew what's coming. She's just going to ask me for money, and I'm just going to be like, oh, I don't know, man. And maybe I give it to her, maybe I don't. For me, when I give money to homeless people, it's got to be some kind of trust, and I gotta know in my heart that you're going to do something positive with it. And for me, it's just the first interaction, right? And she just smiled at me. We made eye contact and she just smiled, and it caught me so off guard. Like I said, my experience with homeless people, they would never smile at you, number one. And secondly, they're always asking for money, but she did neither of those things. Well, she smiled at me, right? And it just caught me off guard. So I just smiled and walked in and, grabbed what I needed to at the gas station, purchased my things, and went on with my life. And as I'm walking out, this is the crazy part. As I'm walking out, we didn't make eye contact, any of that. She just yells at me and says, "Have a phenomenal day." And I'm like, what? She did not just say that. Right? And so I'm like, okay, something's wrong here. Okay, first and foremost, if you guys see homeless people in front of a store anytime, there's no way in hell they would ever just say, have a good day. Imagine the amount of people they see. No way they say that to every single person. Right? So I just turn around and I'm like, yo, do you work at this gas station? And she just started laughing. And she's like, no, I do not work at this gas station. I was like, okay, so what's the reason for you doing this? Like, why are you telling me to have a good day? How come you didn't ask me for any money? And her response is literally the exact reason why I started this YouTube channel. Okay, this random person. That's the funny thing about life, right? Just random stuff happens in a positive, negative way. At the end of the day, what makes who you are is how you deal with it. That's a deep message, by the way. Keep that in your notebook. But yeah, at the end of the day, right? She just said, have a phenomenal day. And I asked her like, yo, you have to work. And she's like, no, I don't. And I was like, okay, so how come you're not asking me for money or anything? Her response was this: the people who have money or want to give it to the homeless will do it without asking. Okay. So she says the people who give the money to the homeless, they tend to do so, and the homeless person doesn't have to ask. So in her mind, she thought it doesn't matter if I ask for money or not, because the people that are going to give her money will give it to her regardless. Okay. And then she follows up with, I can take all the help I can take. Okay. Don't get me wrong here, but I'm not looking for anyone's pity money. At the end of the day, everyone's going through something. Doesn't matter who you are. You can be a CEO at a Fortune 500 company, or you can be a homeless person. Everyone's going through something. She just says, the difference is mine just displays it to other people. And I thought that was deep. A homeless person was telling me this, by the way. I don't know if she learned that in college or where. Okay, my interaction with her in total probably was like a minute or less. I was just so mind blown. I thought about this for such a long time. It did take me a lot of time of thinking and courage to start this YouTube channel. So with that being said, though, right, she says, it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone is going through something. The difference is hers just displays to other people. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, that is so true. There are so many people in this world that are so unhappy. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone's been through something, and it's very relative, right? What do I mean by when it's relative? So what I mean by when it's relative is what you're going through. Other people might look at that and be like, oh, I can go through that and it would be nothing for me. But other people will go through that and be like, yeah, I can't go through what you did. I wouldn't make it. The whole point is everyone's going through something. It doesn't matter what it is, because it's relative. Because to some people, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't go through that. And to some other people, it's going to be like, yeah, I can go through that and it won't be anything to me. I can get through that no matter what. Right? So whatever you're going through, it doesn't matter. And the big difference is, does it display so that other people can notice it, or does it display so that other people cannot notice it? Let's think about it. Think about the people that you look up to. Okay? Those people are still going through something. Their life is not happy dally, roses and daisies, nice dinners. I mean, they might have nice dinners every night. Don't get me wrong. I don't know how they live their lives, but they are still going through something. Think about celebrities. Everyone's like, oh, I want to be at that stage. I want to be an actor. I want to do this, that, whatever. Okay? Doesn't mean that their life is perfect. Everyone is going through something. It doesn't matter who you are. Sometimes it displays so that other people notices, and sometimes it doesn't. This homeless lady, she says, mine just displays it so that other people notice. But I'm no different than you. You're going through something. That is so true. I'm going through something as I'm making this audio video right now. And you're going through something as you're watching it. If you are, I love you, because you're an OG, by the way. But the point is, everyone's going through something. Okay? And here was the commonality in all this. Just the way, like she just like how she taught me a lesson. Okay? I was doing the same thing to people that were in my friend group, that people that I worked with. Didn't matter who it was. We were doing the same thing. What the homeless lady did to me, I did that for other people. And they always challenged me to do that for others. And I just didn't want to, because I just kept to myself. I was, bubbled in my own circle. I only cared about the people in my circle, but I did have love for everybody. The question was, how do I share this with other people? And the answer was social media, YouTube, whatever it was, right? But for me, like I said, I'm an introvert. I just keep things to myself. When my when the people in my circle need me, I'll always be there. But, when it came to others, it just didn't really bother me. So I'm just challenging myself here to create a YouTube channel and hopefully reach as many people as possible. With that being said, look, the only intention of this YouTube channel, right, is to provide value in your life. I will say I do put a lot of, I will be putting a lot of thought and love, and there are, things that I have to pay for, but at the end of the day, this isn't money for me. I'll be totally honest. I am very, very content with where I am in life. Okay. But the thing is, I know that a lot of people aren't. And at the same time, when I say that, I'm not perfect either. I'm going through stuff, like I said, as I'm making this video. Everyone's going through something. Doesn't matter who you are. Like I said, right? Financially, I'm content. This isn't for money. So if this doesn't provide value for you, I'm just going to tell you right here and now again that you shouldn't be watching my videos then. Okay, let's turn positive now. For the people that do want to be watching the videos here, let's just straight up talk about what I'm going to be talking about in the future videos for a quick second. I will make another video about that, but just a quick trailer, if you will say. Basically, I'm going to be talking about 3 components. That's going to be your physical body, your mind, and then your spirit. Like I said, in my opinion, those 3 things make up who you are as a human being. Everyone's physical being is going to be different. Everyone's, mentally and their state is going to be different, and everyone in their spirit is going to be 100% different. Okay. So the real question is, how do I make these videos universal? Well, the only way I can do that is start, number 1, talking about my experiences and what I see in my life. And number 2, what I see in other people's lives. Now, when I see in other people's lives, those aren't going to be opinions. I do ask. Okay. So they are going to be factual. Like I said, I'm the realest person that you will ever talk to. Everything I do is going to be real. It's going to be truthful. Okay. With that being said, though, I don't have any degree or any kind of professional licensing or anything like that to be a therapist. And in my own personal opinion, the best lessons in life are your own experiences. And sometimes the bigger mistake is not making the mistake, which is a deeper message. Keep that in your notes too. I'll explain that one later. I'll say it one more time though. Sometimes the bigger mistake is not making the mistake. Okay. All right. Let's dive into it. What is it like? Okay. What is it like to live in today's world? Let's just talk about the biggest differences first and how it affects us. Well, let's take 100 years back. This is going to be made in 2021. So 100 years would be 1021. What was life like I am bad at math, aren't I? This is why I dropped out of college. It would be 1921. 100 years back would be 1921, not 1,000. It'd still be 2,121. 1,921. Jeez, I am so bad at math. I apologize about that. What was life like 100 years ago? Well, I will say the biggest difference is Google, which is technology, and the internet, which is technology as well. So how has technology affected our lives? What is it like to live in today's world? Well, I will say, since back then, I'm going to hit a lot of aspects in life. So let's start with financials and job and career things. Okay. Back then, a lot of the jobs and careers that everyone had was, for males, it was like physical work. You had to trade your time doing something physically, working in a mill, working in a shop, something physically, and they would pay you to do so. For women, okay, I'm not too educated on this, but I don't know what exactly women did back then. All I know is they probably didn't have many rights, so I'm assuming they were at home. Now, I disagree with that, which we can dive into later videos, but yeah, it was not fair back then for each gender. I will say that. But yeah, so in 1921, men had to basically trade their bodies to make money. Nowadays, women and men get some sort of equality in that department. I don't want to even dive into that because there's so many arguments, and I don't want to argue with anyone. I'm a loving human being. I hate arguing. Confrontation I do deal with, but and you should as well. But arguing, you should never enjoy doing that unless you're like a lawyer or something, right? And you just find joy in doing that. Let's just move on. Technology, okay. So number one, in terms of careers, a lot of men and women now work through the internet. I would say a lot of employment is through the internet or somewhat based on the internet. The only kind of career path or something that doesn't involve the internet would probably be some sort of like brick and mortar kind of business. If you're like a customer, or not even a customer service rep has to use the internet, right? They're using like communication softwares or phone calls, things like that. Some sort of electronic based technology. I don't even know, as you guys can tell, I'm not very educated. But I will say I have a lot of life experiences. With that being said, career path, a lot of different things. Back then, like I said, it was only physically you could make money. Nowadays, there are a lot of physical jobs, right? If you're a contractor and you build homes, obviously you're doing something like a physical job, or if you're like a night stalker at a grocery store, a lot of those jobs, or even if you work at an airport with, those people that like service the planes and stuff, that's a physical job. There's a lot of physical jobs still. I will say though, a lot of people do work through the internet now though. So I would say that's the biggest difference in terms of career. There's a lot of more options you can get into. Okay. Now let's talk about another big piece here, relationships. Back then you would have to like get the mother and father's approval, I believe, as the male before you can even like propose to them. And back then there was no such thing as one night stands. And if there were, it was probably frowned upon. Nowadays you can do anything you want to. And if you somehow discriminate against that, you are in the wrong. I agree and disagree with a lot of the points that's going on in that industry or in that, area of the world. I'm not going to give my opinion. At the end of the day, what you believe is what you believe, and you have your reasons for it. And like I said, life is about standing by those reasons. You live and die by it. Okay. Let's move on. Now, what has changed in terms of your spirit? Back then, what did people look forward to? I mean, I don't even know. I don't know anyone from back then, so I don't even know what they were looking forward to, or what they found joy in life. I guess spending time with your family. Okay, I don't want to say I guess you have. I mean, you don't have to, and I don't define family by blood relations at all, you guys and gals. When I say family, I'm talking about people that you can rely your life on. You would do anything for these people. Right, you would die for these people. That's what I mean by family. And if you don't have any people like that in your life, that's totally okay too. If you're a lone wolf, like I'm a lone wolf, to be honest, that's totally fine. At the end of the day, you just got to be happy with who you are. Let's just get into what people look forward to in today's world. I mean, there's a lot of sporting events. Ooh, did they have like sporting events back then? I don't think they did, but if they did, that'd be pretty cool, like fights and stuff. I mean, people look up to sporting events, new technology coming out. It's always based around technology, right? I guess they look forward to relationships back then as well, which is a commonality in today's world, except dating has just totally changed. I only have a short amount of time here. This is only going to be an hour long. So I definitely want to cover everything, but if I don't, it's totally fine, because I will cover it in later videos. With that being said though, like a lot has changed over 100 years. What are some of the positives? I would say career advancement, right? Back then there was only one career path, and it was to work in a mill or work in the mines or do something like that, or protect your family, be a warrior, do something, man. That's something crazy, where you had to sacrifice your physical body. Nowadays, you don't have to do that. You can use your brain, you can use the internet, or you don't have to get into the physical world of working to make your money. You can use a lot of different things to make money nowadays. I would definitely say that's a positive. Number two, this is a negative for me for sure. I don't know why it's a negative for me, but it just is. I think it takes the value out of what being in a relationship is like. But one night stands, things like that, they're accepted in today's world, right? In 2021, one night stands, going home with someone that you never knew 2 hours ago and then sleeping with them, waking up with them the next morning, you can leave that night of, right? Or whatever you do. That's acceptable in today's world. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, but for me, that's not for me, because that takes the value out of being in a relationship. Like I said, everything for me is going to have to be factual. So let me explain myself. When one night stands happens, right, you get okay, let me even break it down this way. In my opinion, a relationship has 3 factors. That's going to be the consistency, okay, the comfort, and then the spark. Let me explain. Comfort is going to be like, can you be yourself in front of your partner? Can you do whatever the hell you want to do and know that your partner is still going to feel the same way about you? That's going to be comfort. Okay. Consistency. Can you do these things over and over and over again, and will your partner still support and love you? Will she still look at you the same after 10 years of you doing XYZ, whatever the hell this thing is, right? That's consistency. Now the spark. The spark only happens once, and it's for a short period of time, depending on how long your relationships are. But for me, in my opinion, they're going to be short. So spark is going to be when you first meet someone, right? Let's say you guys have, like accidentally your thighs rub against one another. In both your minds, hopefully, you're thinking, oh, did they mean to do that? Did you like it or did you dislike it? It's like that spark, right? When you first meet someone, like, oh my gosh, this person's amazing. I can just get along with them. That's what the spark is. So a relationship has those three things. Okay? And when you start having one night stands, you start losing the value and the comfort and consistency and only value the spark. And in my opinion, a relationship, the best part about it is going to be the comfort and the consistency, knowing that you can do whatever you want in your life, and you have this one special human being in your life that will always accept and love you. But when you only value the spark, what ends up happening is you have a whole bunch of people in your life that are worth a penny, equivalent to a penny, because they're only there for one thing, and it's sex. And in my opinion, that's a lonely world. Okay? So let's just break this down, the relationship piece, one last time for the people in the back. Now, for me, I would much rather, when someone asks, hey, can I give you $1? I would say yes, right? And I would rather have them just give me one crisp $1 bill, which is the comfort and the consistency piece. Having one person in your life that's always going to accept and love you, rather than when someone asks, hey, can I give you $1? You say yes, and they give you 100 pennies. Yes, the value in $1 in both scenarios is the same, right? Because 100 pennies and $1 bill both add up to $1. But in one scenario, you get one crisp $1 bill, and the other scenario, you get 100 pennies. I would much rather take the crisp bill. I would much rather have one person in my life that loves me and supports me no matter what, rather than 100 pennies or 100 girls that I can have a spark with for a momentary time. Okay. Now, in my opinion, when I said you can only have the spark one time, I already know that's going to trigger some people. In my opinion, that only does happen one time. I know, other people can say, oh, you can revows, or when you renew your vows. Well, I forgot what that's called. I'm not very educated, like I said. But when you renew your vows, apparently there's a spark in that as well. And there's other things that you can do, like, year-long vacations or stuff like that to get the spark again, or hire a sex coach. I've even heard that one before. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do to get the spark again. But in my opinion, the true, genuine spark only happens once. And that's in the beginning of a relationship, and sometimes it happens for a week, sometimes it happens for a month. But when you're with this person for years, it's a short time considered. Right? Because let's say you spend the rest of your life with this person for 40 years and the spark only lasts 3 months, that's a short span. But if you're only with this person for 8 months and the spark lasted 4 months, then that's 50% of the relationship. Right? So I do understand why people say the spark lasts a long time. So like I said, I'm a man of numbers. Okay? So when I break things down, try to stay with me. If you can't, DM me and I'll break it down for you, honestly. I love numbers. All right. Let's get into the physical, the mental, and the spirit. The three things that break up a human being. Okay, physically, this is what I'm gonna make separate videos about all three of these topics. They're each gonna be about like 5 to 10 minutes long, and I'm gonna talk about the physical state of being, the mental state of being, and the spirit state of being. Okay, now like I said, I'm not educated in any of these categories, like in terms of like being politically correct here. I never went to college, took any classes on any of these, but I have read a lot of books around these. And like I said, in my opinion, experience is the number one lesson giver in life. And I'm just going to be talking about experiences. Physical. So why is the physical, or what is the physical? Let's start. Why is the physical? I'm going weird. I'm getting weird here. What is the physical? That's going to be, how healthy are you? How active are you? Not sexually active, Jesus Christ. I just saw a comment. This is being recorded live, and some people are getting to see this live. So if you're not, I apologize. that means my message did not get out to you. But someone said sexually active. No, I'm not talking about sexually active. I'm more so talking about physically active. So, how often do you work out? How often do you, get up and move around, things like that. Okay. Third, it's just going to be your general health. I think that was number one. I don't know why I said third, but it's just going to be your general health overall. Okay. That's what physical is. And obviously all three of these pieces play into one another, right? If you're mentally healthy, it's easier to get more physically healthy. Okay. If you're telling your body good things, if you're mentally healthy, meaning like you're positive, you're confident who you are, even if you're not physically confident in the way that you look physically, but you know that you're a good human being and you do the right things, right? That means you're mentally healthy. So those things can absolutely play a piece in your physical and spiritual health, but I'm just going to be talking about them individually. So next is going to be your mental health. Okay, what is mental health? That's just going to be how you treat yourself, your relationship to yourself. Okay. Now, yes, when I say how you treat yourself, that can be physical as well, but more so mentally. What do you tell yourself after something bad happens? What do you tell yourself after a step up? Step down, sorry. Like what happens when a bad things happen to you? How do you deal with it mentally? Okay. What do you tell yourself? Are you more so the type of person that's going to be shutting down and just ignore it until it becomes something massive? Or are you someone that just addresses it right away? Okay. Do you figure out what actions you need to take and then start implementing those? Or are you more so someone just researches and then finds comfort and then just says, okay, you know what, when the time comes around, I'll get to it. Obviously, that's going to be more so how big the problem is, but at the end of the day, right, if it's a problem, you should address it, in my opinion. But what kind of person are you mentally? Okay, last is going to be your spirit. This is a big one for me. Who are you? When I ask you that question, what do you think of? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? When I say, who are you? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? For me, if someone was to ask me, hey, who are you? I would say I'm a loving, genuine person. Number one, I'm a hard worker, I'm consistent, and I stick to my word. Okay? Now, those are all adjectives. I think they're adjectives, right? Someone fact check me here. And when I think of the human spirit, that's the first thing that comes to mind, adjectives. Who are you? I said that about you for the mental, but I'm going to use the same thing for the spirit. Who are you? If everything goes wrong, are you able to overcome that? How strong is your spirit? Do you need something bad to happen to you before you start taking action and realizing the kind of situation you're in? Or are you very ultra aware? And you know that you need to do better. And you don't need anything bad to happen to you before you start taking action and going towards the right path. Okay, that's the human spirit. So when I ask you, who are you? Give me a couple adjectives. How do you describe yourself? That's your spirit. Okay, that's how your spirit speaks to you. That's how you think of yourself. That's the spirit. Okay, now these three things, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual, in my opinion, make up a human being. Okay, I'm on a journey right now to make myself better physically and mentally. In my opinion, my spirit is strong. Okay, I will be sharing a lot of my life experiences and a lot of people's opinions around me. Maybe, like I said, this is super relative. Other people that's in worse situations will look at me and be like, yo, I would wish for that situation. I would wish to go through that. But other people are going to look at my situation and be like, I can never go through that. So like I said, everyone's going through something. So whatever I talk about, it's very relative. If you can relate, cool. And if you can't, that's totally fine, because what you're going through is similar to what I'm going through. The content is the same. The context might be different. The content is the same. Okay? We are both struggling with XYZ and we're both trying to overcome it. And we have other things that are mentally blocking us, spiritually blocking us, and physically blocking us from overcoming it. Okay? So the physical, the mental, and the spirit, those three things play into who you are. And they make up who you are. Right? And if you're physically strong, and I'm not talking about you can lift 500 pounds. I'm more so talking about you can go 3 days without food. Again, not like something extreme like that. I'm more so talking about like, something bad can happen to you physically and your body's not going to shut down because of it. Like you can get sick and you overcome it really quickly. Or your pain tolerance is extremely high. All these things are going to play into your mental and your spirit. I hope everyone knows that. right? Now, these are very specific examples, and the reason I'm naming them is because I've just been through those things. Whatever it is for you, it doesn't matter. Like I said, it's relative, okay? One of my favorite people to look at for this physical piece is going to be Kobe Bryant. Look at Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant can play 82 games out of 82 games, and he would be somewhat healthy. I mean, he did have a couple, a lot of, not a lot, but a couple seasons where he injured himself. He got hurt in his Achilles, his thumb, dislocations, broke his nose, things like that. But this man would play a game regardless. I mean, yes, that buys into your mental and your spirit as well, but physically, this man could take it. Not only that, he would be in the gym 8-12 hours a day. I don't even know the full context of what the hell Kobe Bryant's training regime looked like. All I know is this man went crazy in the gym. Okay? He would spend 8-10 hours a day. So that when I say physical, how physically strong are you? That's more so what I'm talking about. Okay? Can you put your body through intensive workouts? Can you put your body through intensive situations and you're going to be perfectly fine the next day? Can you recover very quickly? Right? This is just who you are as a human being. I don't work out because I want girls. I want to impress other people. I want to post it on social media. I work out because I want to be healthier, because I know that plays a piece into my mental health and my spiritual health. By physically getting better, I automatically get mentally better. That's my message here. Okay. Now let's talk about the mental. I do have a lot of examples for this one, but I'm just going to use a particular one, and it's going to be Kobe Bryant again, okay? Kobe Bryant, like I said, worked out in the gym for 8 hours. That is physically extremely hard for anyone to do. Now, he's not just in the gym lollygagging. He's going full speed, game speed. Every rep, every single minute of that workout, he's busting his ass. You know how hard that is to do? I'm a younger guy. Probably you can tell through my voice, but a lot of people in my surroundings and my environment, they're going to be college students, or a lot of people are going to be in their 30s and 40s. That's in my environment that I talk to on a daily basis. A lot of those people, if I ask them to work, I'm talking about work. Like work on something they love. Let's say if you're 30 to 40 and you have a 9-to-5 job that you hate. Okay, so let's take something like you love golf. Can you golf for 8 to 12 hours? Do you think your mind can take that? No, because your body's going to start physically breaking down. And then when it does at, the second, third hour, and your arms and your wrists and your fingers from gripping the whatever you hit a golf ball with, whatever club, so hard, your fingers are going to start hurting. Can your mind be like, nope, I can overcome this? Can your mind do that? I'm not saying you have to be able to do that to be, physically or mentally strong. I'm just saying this is an extreme here, in my opinion. Right? Kobe Bryant, that was that mentally strong. This man could work out 8 to 12 hours a day, act like nothing happened, wake up the next morning and do it all over again. How mentally strong are you? Okay. Now, in every scenario so far, mental and physical, I've used Kobe Bryant, and he's someone that was chasing something, right? So if you're in a position in life where you don't have goals, or you don't want to better yourself as a human being, I suggest right now to log off, because I'm only going to be talking about improvement here. And my core beliefs, one of them is going to be, for me to be happy, is going to be, it's going to be constant improvement. In my opinion, that's what humans find the joy out of the most, improvement. It's the idea of taking something that you are not good at, or maybe you struggle with, and then getting better at it over time. It's not about your timing in the market. It's about your time in the market. Okay? What does that mean? I'm going to talk about this for 2 seconds. So timing the market, that comes down to, trying to get in at the right time and get out at the right time. A lot of pieces are going to play into that. And I know a lot of people make a living off of that, but in my opinion, that's not going to be that's not going to be as safe of a play than putting your money into something that's safe and keeping it there for a long time. So in my opinion, it's not about timing the market at a perfect time and getting out at a perfect time. It's more so about your time in the market. Consistency. How long have you been in the market? Okay. So that plays for mental as well, right? How long can you take this? Is it just for one day, or can you do it for 10 years? How long are you willing to work at this goal, this achievement that you want, or this relationship, or you want to make a relationship better with a certain human being? How long are you willing to put up with their BS before you crack? How much do you love them? Okay? That's what I mean by mental. Now let's talk about the spirit here. Let me take a sip of water. Like I said, this is a long one, guys and gals, so I apologize. And if you're listening to this point, you're an OG actually, and I absolutely love you. So what I'm going to do here is, if you've listened to this point, okay, what I want you to do is listen to my next couple of videos, and I'm going to be putting in my social media there. I want you to shoot me a DM. I read every single DM, okay? Shoot me a DM on any platform that you have heard the first video on this channel to this point. And what I will do is I will text you a code for a $10 Amazon gift card, or I'll send you an Amazon gift card, something. I promise you that. Okay, so let me just take a sip of water here and we'll get moving on. All right. Ooh. Okay, let's talk about the overall message of the channel. What is the point of me making the channel? Why am I making this channel? Why am I spending this time? Number one, it makes me happy. That's going to be my number one message for this channel as well. Do whatever makes you happy. I don't care what the hell it is. Do whatever makes you happy. Like I said, this is a challenge for me, right? I'm an introvert. I don't like, putting myself out there. That's not one of the things I like doing. Maybe when I can overcome this idea of, giving my name and putting my face on the channel, I will. But right now, the only kind of people that I'm consulting with this kind of consulting, which is bettering their life, is going to be my personal clients. And then number two is going to be the people in my circle, my friends, my family, the people that I work with. And the reason the people I work with are in my circle is because I love them like family, every single one of them. With that being said, though, why am I not putting my face on my channel? Because the whole intent of this channel is to help you with your journey of your physical health, your mental health, and your spiritual health, which all play into who you are as a human being. And the better you are at each of those categories, achieving better things for each of those categories, okay, is going to make you happier. I promise you that. In my opinion, once again, the core truth of life is happiness, okay? And the way you can get happy is to consistently overcome fears, achieve goals, get better at things, overcome struggles, okay? It's the betterment. That's what people find happiness in. It doesn't matter if it's financial either. You only make $2,000 a month right now, and you start making $10,000 a month, I promise you, you will become a happier person, okay? Everything else in your life stays consistent. You just start making more money, which is a betterment in your financial department of your life. It'll make you happier, okay? That, in my opinion, okay, another example. Okay, someone said name another example. So let's say you're scared of talking to people. Okay, go out and talk to 10 people every single day. It's going to be the most uncomfortable thing you do, but I promise at the end of a year, when you're comfortable talking to people, you're going to be thanking me that you did that. And it's going to make you happier. Okay, you're going to be asking yourself, how is making myself uncomfortable for a whole entire year just automatically going to make me happier? Because number one, the more people you meet of this new skill that you've developed over a year, consistent hard work, going through the BS, the rain, the mud, right? Uncomfortable, going through that, and then overcoming that and talking to people, the idea of that is just automatically going to make you happier. I promise you. And the benefits that you'll reap will make you so much happier. And I promise you, this 1 year of you going out and being uncomfortable and talking to 10 people a day is going to pay you for the rest of your life. I don't mean, it's going to pay you $10, $20 a day. I'm more so talking about it's going to allow you to network, meet new people every single day for the rest of your life. So if you did this at 30 years old and you were done at 31, and let's say you die at 65 years old, you would have 34 years of you being comfortable and meeting new people. Instead of, let's say you didn't have this 1 year of uncomfortable. Then for the next 35 years, right? At age 30, it takes a year. At age 30, so 35 years, you would more so have to be not liking talking to people. You don't like talking to people for the next 35 years. Can you imagine that? Not only the benefits you don't get to reap, you would just be in your own circle. Okay? For me, like I said, doing this is very uncomfortable for me. Putting my voice out there, putting myself out there, very uncomfortable, which is kind of contradictory to think about, right? I did say I have clients, which is very true. I work with them one-on-one and very privately. I don't just take on clients at the end of the day. I don't want any more clients. These are people that I knew personally and they don't pay me through money. It's a different sort of payment, and no, not that kind of payment. And obviously, the people that are watching this are my clients live right now. So, stop being inappropriate. You guys are so weird. With that being said, though, right? This is not the point of that. The point of this channel is just to spread the message. I work with a lot of people and I get to hear their story, and they've all given me the green light to kind of, share their story, not, to the full extent of putting names and stuff out there, but just share experiences that they've had and how they've overcome it. Because at the end of the day, when you're playing a piece of bettering someone's life, it's going to make you happy. Man, I've said happy and betterment and, just improving so many times already. With that being said, though, think about it. If you can overcome something today, think about your biggest struggle. Let's say you overcame that in the next 5 years. Would that make you happy? I think it would. Would the next 5 years, every single day, would you be happy? Absolutely not. That is a false narrative. You will not be happy. You will not be happy every single day for the next 5 years if you take on this challenge to overcome your biggest struggle right now. I promise you that. But I promise, another promise and guarantee I can make you, is when you do overcome it, you will be so freaking happy. And you will look back at those 5 years and say, it was more than worth it. I promise you that. I can guarantee that. And if you don't, I'll buy you a house. I'll do anything for you. I promise you. You're going to thank me, okay? Because all the benefits you'll reap, number one, and the human being you become after overcoming that, okay? So my main message of this channel is going to be, number one, be yourself. Do not ever change who you are for anyone else. Do you understand me? Not for a girlfriend, a wife, a fiance, your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, your grandma, grandpa, anyone in your family, your friends. I don't care who it is, your boss. Do not change who you are unless you want to. I heard a quote in a movie. It's a Marvel movie. It's like Captain America. And he's like talking to, so in the original Captain America movie, he had this girl that he loved that they were going to get, Maggie, right? It was like Maggie's niece or some stuff like that. Okay. I've been told do not curse. So I'm not going to curse on this platform. With that being said, it was like his niece that he met in a later movie. It was like Captain America. Basically this woman is giving her speech after Maggie dies when she's like 100 and Captain America's there. And she says this, something along the lines of this. When you have to compromise. But when you have to stand your ground, plant yourself like a tree and do not move. And that was a very powerful quote. I don't know if the movie took that from some author or something, but that's a very powerful quote. I would even cut the first piece out and say, when you have to lay your ground, when you have to believe in what you have to believe in, plant yourself like a tree and do not compromise. I believe that with all my heart and soul. Okay. You are perfect. This is so cliche, and I feel so cringe saying this. But you are perfect just the way you are. You understand me? There's nothing wrong with you. Absolutely nothing. I don't care what the hell you look like. I don't care what you're going through. You are perfect the way you are. Okay? Everything that you've done in the past does not define you. That's the wonderful thing about life. Everything you've done in the past does not define you. Let me repeat that. Write it down in your notes because this is deep. Everything you have done in the past does not define you. That is the beautiful thing. And that's also the ugly thing. Just because you were Olympian in the past does not mean you're going to be an Olympian again in the future. Just because you were a drug addict in the past does not mean you're going to be a drug addict in the future. That's the beautiful thing about life. It's consistent, both positive and in the negative world. Do you understand me? What you have done in the past will not define you in the future. It does not matter if it's positive or negative. Okay? So you got to do what makes you happy in the present moment. And if you believe something with your heart and soul, you stick by it and you do not compromise. I don't care who it's for. You do not give up your happiness. You do not give up your soul, your heart, what you believe in, who you are mentally, physically, spiritually, for anything in this world. Because it is not worth it. Nothing is worth it at that point. For your heart, spirit, your mental health, physical health, spiritual health, nothing's worth it. Absolutely nothing is worth that. Nothing in this world. Let me repeat. Nothing is worth that. Do not give up who you are, mentally, physically, spiritually, for someone else, for something else, for anything else. Okay? That is my main message of this channel. And I mean, gosh, I'm just rambling on here, but and going on a tangent. There's a lot of messages for this channel, and it's also going to be improving your mental, your physical, and your spiritual health. Okay? Those three things make up who you are as a human being. I'm going to repeat that over and over again. Okay? And constant improvement of those three things will make you happy, in my own opinion. Let me take a sip of water here. If you've been listening to this point, gosh, I got opinion heavy there. So I know it's a lot. I will admit that. So I know I got opinion heavy, and if you disagree with anything that I said and you don't want to watch anymore, please log off. Or if you do want to watch and then, keep listening to what I have to say and then, tell me that I'm wrong in the comment section or DM me those things, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. I love meeting new people. Let me repeat, I love meeting new people and listening to their stories and why they believe the way they believe and why it justifies to them. I love that. Okay. Why? Because maybe that's a sign for me to change. If I listen to what you went through and now you behave or you think about something differently than I do, I want to know why. Why do you justify it that way? And if it makes sense to me, I'll start behaving that way as well. Because I'm on the road of physically and mentally bettering myself. Right now, spiritually, I'm good with where I'm at, to be honest. In my opinion, nothing can break me. Let me take a sip of water here before I start going off on a tangent. Like I said, right now, I don't think anything can break me. And when something does break me, I'll know that it's time for me to get better spiritually. And through that process of me, when it does break me, through that process of getting better, that's going to build me up spiritually and I'll be better spiritually. So right now I'm on the path to get myself better physically and mentally. And I want to learn why you disagree with me. All right, back to the point here. Overall message of the channel, right? Number one, it's going to be happiness. Do not give up who you are. Okay? And then the constant improvement of your physical, mental, and spiritual health will make you happier. That is what the message is about. It's going to be how to do those things, why to do those things. I'm going to be here to encourage you, but I'm also going to be here to call out your BS. I promise you that. Okay? I just want to touch on one more point before I move on, okay? And it's going to be the beauty of life. And I want to repeat this topic. Because the beauty of life is if you accomplish something in the past, that doesn't mean you're going to accomplish that in the future. And if you did something bad in the past, that does not make you a bad person in the future as well. That is the beauty of life. Both positive and negative never last. You have to constantly, in the present moment, be doing X, Y, Z to produce whatever you want. Okay? Just because your past does not define your future. That's what I'm saying here. That's the beauty of life. Think about that. You can experiment with 10, 20, 30, 200 million different things and then drop it one day, and it's not going to be, and you're not going to be defined by whatever you did for the last 20 years. That's the beauty of life. I promise you. Let me give you guys guys and gals, give you guys and gals a specific example here. Okay? It's going to be me. I was a very, 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 very opposite person of who I am today. Today, like I said, if someone was to ask me, who are you, right? That's how I define spirit, those adjectives. I said I was loving, caring, I love meeting new people. I love making a change. I love making an impact. I love when people take my advice and they're like, oh my gosh, and have this light bulb moment, or they experience it in their own time and they're like, oh my gosh, this is what he was talking about. Right? I love those things. Who I am, when someone asks who you are, I'm loving, I'm gentle. I'm accepting. Courage. I would like to call myself courageous for doing this, right? What is the overall message that I'm trying to give you guys and gals? Love who you are. Don't ever change unless you want to. Oh yeah, I was talking about the specific example. Let me get back to that. Wow, I'm going crazy here, guys. I'm so sorry, gals. Yeah, me. Like I said, I'm gentle. Like I am now. It wasn't that way back then. Let me explain. When I was younger, parents weren't in my life. Tough, right? In my opinion, I don't think any kid should have to go through that, but I did. And that's what the hand that was dealt to me. It doesn't matter. What I went through doesn't really matter because everyone goes through something, right? Other people have gone through worse what I went through, and they're still going to feel the same amount of pain as me. Because obviously what you don't know, you don't know. So if they don't know, let's say you go through something that's, in your opinion and my opinion, not that big. Let's say your parents go through a divorce and that's what really affected you. When you take someone like that, right, a kid that's really, really extremely hurt by that, they're not going to experience things like neither parents being in their life, right? They're not even going to know about that. So they don't even know the kind of pain you would feel about that. But this kid that's still going through their parents' divorce, he would still feel some sort of pain. And to them, that pain is a lot. That's why I say everything's relative, because what I went through, I felt a lot of pain, but it's equivalent to a kid that went through watching their parents get divorced. What we go through is relevant. It doesn't matter. It's about how you deal with it, okay? So I didn't have either parent in my life. The point here is I'm trying to tell you people change, and your past is not defined, or your future is not defined by your past. Okay, so I didn't have a father, and my mother was not much. She wasn't much in my life. She is now. I love her to the death. She's my everything right now, and she always will be, and she always has been, to be honest. But she just wasn't in my life. And my father, he was never in my life. Okay, and when you don't have parents in your life, when you don't have parents saying, hey, curfew's this time, if you're not home by this time, I'm going to come grab you by the back of your neck and bring you home, you get involved with the wrong people. Okay, that's exactly what happened for me. And when I didn't have anyone keeping me accountable or responsible or teaching me manners and respect, I turned into a little disrespectful, thieving, lying, piece of trash. That's who I was. You guys don't know who I was in the past. None of the people that's watching right now knows me in the past. The only people who knew me in the past are my mom, to be honest, and then my grandma, right? So I was just so disrespectful. I was just so mean and rude, and I didn't have any social cues, no awareness, nothing. And I would just call people names. I was hitting people. I would get into fights all the time. Like I said, I got involved with the wrong people and in trouble with the law, making the wrong decisions. And now I would like to say I'm doing none of those things. I am paying for those consequences, right? So is my mom. My mom had to take some of my consequences. So now I would like to say I'm nice. I'm very, very gentle. I try to be very polite. I always put, my people first over myself, always. And all I did was make a simple change. A lot of changes, to be honest, but overall a simple change in my life. And I am now a different human being. And the point of that is your future is not defined by your past. Know that and live by that. I don't care what mistake you made. I don't care if you're listening to this on your phone in jail. Because I promise you, brother and sister, I've been there. Multiple times, promise you. Okay? Multiple penitentiaries, multiple, what is that word with the J? Judiciaries, or I don't even know how they even pronounce that word, where like multiple judges get to decide what the hell happens to you. Okay, I've been through all that process. Okay, I don't care where you're listening to this. Everyone's going through something. If you're going through something right now, shoot me a DM and tell me you are, and tell me what the hell it is, and I'll tell you what I'm going through. And let's talk about it. And let's make one another better. Okay, and for the people that won't do that, just listen to the future videos, because I'm going to be talking about a lot of things and how I overcame them and how other people overcame them. All right, let's just list one more time the overall message of this channel. Number 1, it's going to be happy. Number 2, it's going to be who you are is who you are, and do not ever give up who you are. Ever. You understand me? Ever. What you believe in, how you act, how you talk, all of it. Don't give it up for anyone or anything, or anyone or anything. Let me repeat, or anyone or anything, or anything or anyone. Doesn't matter. Don't give up who you are. Okay? Lastly, how to improve all of that so you can be happy, right? Life's about being happy through constant improvement of those 3 things: physical, mental, and spirit. All right, we're getting to the last 6 minutes here. I'm just going to talk about the last thing. What is the channel going to be about? and the expectations. I already went over it, but I'm going to talk about the expectations here for about 5 to 10 minutes. What you can expect from future videos, and all the people who's watching this live. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are the OGs of the channel. So, man, yeah, I love you guys. Let me take a quick sip here and talk about expectations. All right. Hopefully you didn't hear me smack my lips. I don't smack my lips, I promise. All right, expectations. So I'm going to be probably making a lot of videos. I don't know what the schedule is going to look like. It's going to be fully dependent on, what my job schedule looks like. By the way, I do have a job. Yes. I love my job. I would never leave this job. I love the people I work with. They're my family, man. So I love these people. I would never leave this job. So depending on what that schedule looks like here in the near future, that's going to be fully dependent on how many videos I put out. But basically, your expectations for these videos is this, okay? I'm going to be talking a lot about opinionated stuff, okay? And if I say something that's very opinionated and you disagree, and you do not want to watch to the end, click off the video, okay? But that does not mean you and I do not agree on other things, because you and I probably will agree on other things. We just disagree on some things. But at the end of the day, that does not mean you and I are going into war. That does not mean you don't have to watch my videos. That does not mean I have to dislike you or you have to dislike me. That's just called being a human being. You and I do not have to disagree about everything. So for your expectations, know this. I'm going to make a lot of videos that's going to be opinion heavy. And if you dislike one of them, that's totally fine. Click off and watch another one where we agree. Or continue to watch and send me an audio clip on one of these social media platforms and tell me why you disagree. But you have to justify why it disagrees, okay? If you just send me some BS and why you think that way and it doesn't justify why you think that way, then I'm not even going to respond. That's a waste of my time. Tell me why you feel that way. Let's get personal here, okay? So for your expectations, like I said, opinion heavy. Number 2, this is a disclaimer. I don't even know what disclaimer means, but I'm just going to say it. I'm not giving you advice. Well, I am giving you advice, but I'm not saying you have to do these things. And if you do these things at your own discretion. Don't blame me that you cut someone out. I'm going to challenge you guys, okay, and gals. I'm going to challenge every aspect of life. And one of the first things I'm going to challenge you guys to do, obviously, and gals to do, is cut out one toxic person out of your life. And let's say you try to do one of those things and that person was very, very toxic, and they somehow convince you that they weren't toxic. They come back to you and they're like, F you, and they destroy your car or something, right? Don't come back to me and say, hey, you told me to cut out someone toxic in my life and this person destroyed my car. It's your fault. I would have a response to that. Actually, my response would be good. I'm glad they did. It's your fault for keeping them in your life for that long. Learn your lesson, move on. Thank me in 5 years when your circle is nothing but filled with good and positive-minded people and like-minded people as yourself, and you guys are building something and gals are building something together. Thank me in 5 years. That would be my response, honestly, but I'm not even going to respond that. Okay? Tell me why you feel this way and why it justifies it. Then I will respond. Okay? For your expectations. For your for the videos, right? Very opinion heavy. Now for the disclaimer piece. I am not a professional therapist. I am not a professional advice giver. I don't even know what this person would be if I had a profession. Okay? All I'm doing is sharing experiences and what my view on life should be like. At the end of the day, you're going to have your own view. Take the good things that I say and implement it. Take the bad things that I say and don't implement it. Customize it to yourself. This is not a blueprint. I repeat, this is not a blueprint. I don't have shit to sell you. I don't even want to sell you anything. Okay? This channel is purely based on value, on my experiences, and hopefully it helps you. And the people that I work with, their experiences. And hopefully their experiences helps you as well. Okay? So for your expectations, just know, and for the disclaimer, I am not a professional, licensed, any of that. I'm just sharing experiences through my own lenses, and hopefully it helps you. And I really do think that it will, because I will say I've been through a lot, and the people, once again, that's relative. What I think is a lot, other people might think is a little, and other people might think that's a whole shit ton, right? So in my opinion, it's a lot, but I'm just going to be explaining those experiences, and hopefully it helps you. And in my opinion, they will help you. And how do I know this? Because everyone that I work with, they have a different background, whether it's skin color, ethnicity, where they're from, what kind of job title they have. If they're married, has kids, wife, divorced, parents are alive or dead, doesn't matter. Some of the things that I tell them, it always ends up helping them out. So I know that anything that we talk about here, just put me on in the background, and I know that some way and somehow I can help. Or just listen to my voice, because it does sound like I shouldn't be on a radio, right? A lot of people tell me that my voice sounds very, very, very comforting. So it's probably like 1 or 2 people, by the way, out of like 30. So I'm just hyping myself up there. Am I cringe? Hopefully I'm not cringe. But okay, next piece about expectations. One of the biggest things that I've noticed when I work with these people, right, is they tell me, you're at a young age, why should I trust what you say? Once again, that's going to be relative, because in my opinion, I have been through things that most 45 to 60-year-olds haven't even seen, thought of, or been through themselves. Financially, with their relationships in life, with the law, you name it. I've been through it all. Okay? I've seen my mom go through rehab. You understand me? I've seen her lose all her hair. Okay? I've been through everything that you can think of. The good, the bad. I've seen the lows, the mediums. I haven't seen the highs of life yet. I would like to say I haven't peaked yet, and neither have you. None of us have peaked until we die. That's a belief of mine, by the way. When I say peaked, I mean like the best part of life. And why do I say that you're not going to see that till death? And why does that sound so depressing when I say it out loud? Jeez. But basically the reason I believe that, right, is because the best moment of life is when you die. And the reason, oh geez, my alarm's going off. And the reason I believe that, right, is because when you're building and trying to consistently get better, there's always a next level. So it's impossible to finish the game of life. And the only way to finish the game of life, obviously, is to die. Which is why I say it's the happiest moment of life. Because you've worked, you can look back and say, I've done everything possible to make myself happy and improve in these 3 departments, and whatever makes you happy. Some people, they're going to be, family related happiness, and other people, it's going to be career driven happiness. All right. So whatever makes you happy, I want you to be able to look back, or in my opinion, when you die is going to be the happiest moment. So in my opinion, when you die, you're going to be able to look back and say, look at everything that I accomplished. But that's the good way, right? I said life is equal. There's the good and the bad. When you die, it can also be the saddest moment of your life. Because instead of saying, look at all this I accomplished, look at all this I got better at, look at all this I overcame, the opposite of that would be, I regret not overdoing this. I regret not overcoming this. I regret not saying this because I was scared. I regret doing XYZ. I regret not doing XYZ. That's the beauty of life. That's why this channel is going to be up and running for years to come. Because at the end of the day, the more people I can effectively help them get to the positive side of death, that'll make me so much more happier. And that's my ticket here. That's my ticket to die happily. The more people I help, on my deathbed, I'll be able to look back and appreciate that even more. All right. My goal here is to make sure that when you die, I've said that so many times, so people are probably going to be confused on what the actual overall message and the goal of the channel is. But here's another big one. The goal of the channel is to make sure that when you die, you get to look back and say, look at everything that I accomplished. Look at everything that I overcame, and look at everything that I did because I went through a period of uncomfortness or whatever, uncomfort. Rather than, oh my gosh, I regret not doing this, or I regret doing this. I regret being involved with these people. Right. And like I said, it's going to be an opinion heavy channel. So, and the reason I say that is because when I say the people that you're involved with, I have my opinions on that, and they're very, very strong, and I'm not going to change them unless someone is able to change my mind on it. And like I said, you got to bring proof, and you got to be able to justify why you feel that way. I'm a man of proofs, transparency, honesty, straightforward. Okay. All right. One last thing here before I let everyone go. Expectations. Okay. Let's just do a review here. My videos are going to be extremely opinionated. So that doesn't mean that you and I should dislike each other. That doesn't mean you should go tell everyone that I'm a douchebag or I'm an idiot. Well, you can, and that won't really affect me. But You can. Or the other way to look at it is, look, that's part of being a human being. Look at all the people that you love. I guarantee you don't agree on everything. Okay? Just because you don't agree with me on one topic doesn't mean we don't agree on hundreds of other topics. We probably do. Okay? And even if we don't, that doesn't mean you have to dislike me. Let's just share ideas, make each other better. That's what this is about. That's what life's about. And the moment we make each other better, guess what? I'm happier because of it. And I promise you're going to be happier because of it. And the only reason we're going to get better is because we spend hours talking about it. And the only reason we would spend hours talking about it is because you're passionate about this topic. And imagine you getting to get better at a topic that you're very passionate about. That's what happiness is about, right? So let's make each other better. Okay. Number one, like I said, it's very opinion heavy. Number two, for your expectations, these videos are going to be talking about you getting better at one thing, making you uncomfortable. Okay? But at the end of the day, I would much rather live a life of happiness for 5 years and give up one of those years. So actually only live 4 years extremely happy and 1 year very, very uncomfortable, rather than live all 5 years somewhat happy and not and comfortable. Let me repeat that. You have two choices, or you have one decision to make, two different choices. One decision, two different choices. Choice number one is live 5 years. Okay. 4 of them extremely happy and 1 of them very uncomfortable. Or choice B would be live all 5 years exactly the same with the same kind of comfort and you're mediocrely happy. Is mediocrely even a word? You're kind of medium happy the whole 5 years. And I would much rather give up 1 year and be extremely happy the other 4 rather than live all 5 a very dull life. Okay, that's expectation number 2. So like I said, I am going to make you uncomfortable because in my belief system, that's going to make you happy. Okay. Now, number 3 here on expectations is I'm going to relay all of this information is going to be very, very relatable in today's world. I'm not going to be talking about back then or in the future. I don't care about any of that because none of that affects me right now. The only thing that affects me is right now at this moment. So I'm going to be talking about all of these points in today's world. Nothing about back then. I may, bring up back then and compare it to today's world like I did in the beginning of this, live stream. But all the videos I make are obviously going to be edited. This is going to be unedited since it's an OG video for the OGs out there. I love you guys and gals. But yeah, like I said, opinion heavy. I'm going to make you uncomfortable. And then last point. I don't even remember what I said. Jeez. Gosh, it's been so long. Today's been a long day for me. Hopefully it hasn't been a long day for you. But with that being said, the channel's name is All Things Life. If you've listened to this point and you weren't here during the live, or if you were here during the live and you're re-listening to this, my gosh, you have my pleasure. You have my appreciation as well. Okay. I love you guys and gals. And like I said, if you've listened to a certain point in this video, I think I said shoot me a DM on any of those social media platforms and I would give you a $10 gift card. I probably will do that still. I'm not sure. No, just kidding. I am going to do that. So just shoot me a DM and I will give you a gift card. With that being said, I'm going to let everyone go here. Channel's name is All Things Life. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe or dislike or comment something nasty so that I can respond to you. Okay? I love you all. Let's get better in life. Let's all take this journey of life and get better. Can we agree on that? I need you guys to say that with me. 1, 2, 3. Let's get better at life. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Let's get better at life. How? Physically, mentally, spiritually. When? Now. Love you guys. All Things Life signing out here. Let's get better. Live, love, laugh, be happy. Love you guys.